Have you ever wondered why some stories just stick with us? I mean, from ancient myths carved into stone all the way to the latest movie you streamed, there seems to be this powerful, almost hidden code that shapes the tales we can't get enough of. Well, today, we're gonna unlock that code. You know that feeling, right? That little bit of déjà vu you get when you're watching a movie. The young kid from a small town who gets a mysterious call to action. The reluctant hero who has to face down some great evil. The triumphant return home. It's not just you. It's not your imagination. These stories are all tapping into the same ancient playbook, a deep, primal pattern that just resonates with all of us. I love this quote from the great scholar Joseph Campbell because it just shatters our whole idea of time. What he's telling us is that these epic figures, these mythic struggles, they aren't trapped in the past. They're alive, right now, walking among us. The hero, the monster, the quest, it's all happening inside the people, just waiting for the light to change. And that leads us right to Campbell's life's work. In his unbelievable book, The Hero with a Thousand Faces, he did something nobody had ever really done before. He looked at myths, legends, and religions from every corner of the globe. And you know what he found? Something absolutely astonishing. Beneath all the different costumes and cultures, humanity has basically been telling one single story over and over again. He called this pattern the monomyth. Now, I know that sounds a little academic, right? But just break it down. Mono for one, myth for story. The one story. You probably know it by its more famous name, the hero's journey. It's the fundamental blueprint for adventure, for transformation, and for coming home again, but changed. The whole thing, this entire epic journey, really just boils down to three main acts. First up, you've got separation. This is when the hero leaves their comfortable, ordinary world behind. Then comes initiation. This is where they face a whole series of life-altering trials in some strange, maybe even supernatural new world. And finally, you have the return, where they come back to their old life, but they bring a gift or some kind of new wisdom to share with everybody.
Okay, so let's dig into that. Let's see how this journey actually gets started. Beginning with that first critical step, leaving home. Because no hero's journey ever begins without some kind of catalyst, something that just shatters the ordinary and yanks them toward the great unknown.
This is what's called the call to adventure. And man, it can show up in some pretty wild ways. For King Arthur, it's a bizarre, magical creature he just stumbles upon. For a young Arapaho girl, it's something as simple as following a porcupine that literally leads her to another world. And for the Buddha, it wasn't a monster, but a shocking realization, seeing old age, sickness, and death for the first time. The point is, the call totally disrupts the status quo and throws down a challenge. But here's the cool part. The hero almost never has to go it alone. Just when they're standing there on the edge of this terrifying new world, some kind of guide or guardian usually shows up. They're there to offer the tools, the wisdom, or the protection they're going to need for the road ahead. And this supernatural aid? It can be anything. It could be a magical charm from the wise spider woman. It could be something as simple as a ball of thread, which is what Ariadne gives Theseus to survive the labyrinth. It can even be advice from a talking reed. It just goes to show you that the help we need to face the unknown often comes from the most unexpected places. So, with their guide's help, our hero takes that leap. They cross the threshold and step into the second, and honestly the most perilous stage of the whole journey, initiation. This is where the real tests, the real challenges begin. Campbell has this incredible name for this moment. He calls it being swallowed by the belly of the whale. Think about it. It's the point of no return. The hero is literally consumed by the unknown, totally cut off from the world they once knew. It's like a symbolic death, a necessary trip into the darkness before they can be reborn. And this is where the hero walks what Campbell calls the road of trials. And listen, these aren't just your average fistfights. These trials are designed to test every single part of the hero. You have the purely physical tests, right? Like Theseus hunting the monstrous minotaur in that dark labyrinth. Then you have the deep psychological tests, like Ulysses having his men tie him to the mast just so he can hear the siren's deadly song without crashing his ship. And then there are the character tests, which force these tough moral choices, like Jason having to rely on Medea's dark and dangerous magic to win the day. Somewhere deep inside this new magical world, the hero often meets an incredibly powerful female figure. Campbell called her the Queen of the Universe. And you have to think of her as more than just a person. She's the embodiment of all of reality. She's the caring mother and the beautiful princess, but she's also the terrifying witch and the one who brings death. She represents the whole truth of life, the good and the terrible, that the hero has to learn to accept. And that brings us to the climax of this whole middle section. Campbell calls it atonement with the Father. This is the moment the hero has to confront the ultimate authority in their life, the force that holds all the power. Now, this could be a tyrant king, it could be a literal father, it could even be a god. It's by facing this immense power that the hero is truly transformed and finally understands their own place in the universe. So our hero has survived the abyss, they've faced down the ultimate power, and they have been fundamentally changed by it all. They've won the ultimate prize. But wait, the story's not over. Not by a long shot. Now they have to complete the final act, the return. And this is so important. The journey was never just for the hero's own good. The whole point of going through that entire ordeal was to bring something back. A treasure, a piece of wisdom, some kind of magic elixir. Something that has the power to heal and reboot their whole community. And this boon, this prize, it can be all sorts of things, right? For Prometheus, it's a real tangible thing. Fire, the thing that allowed all of human culture to happen. For Moses, it was a brand new set of laws to give society structure. For the Buddha, it was spiritual insight, a new way of seeing the world. And for Aeneas, it was the actual vision to build a new city, a new world, from the ashes of the old one. So at this point, you might be thinking, okay, gods, monsters, magic fire, this is all fascinating. But what does any of this have to do with me? Well, according to Campbell, everything. This quote here, it's the key. It reframes this entire epic journey. See, all those dark forests and scary monsters from the myths, they're really just metaphors for our own internal psychological struggles. The whole journey is about finding the determination to face our own inner darkness and to be reborn. And that's the ultimate takeaway, isn't it? The hero's journey isn't just some dusty old formula for Hollywood screenwriters. It's a map. It's a map for living. It's a guide for navigating the challenges that life throws at you, for confronting your fears, and for going through that profound, difficult, but totally necessary task of becoming who you're meant to be. And that brings this whole thing right back around to you. We all get a call to adventure. Maybe it's starting a new career, or ending a relationship, or finally facing a deep-seated fear. Joseph Campbell's work really leaves us with one powerful personal question. You know that cave you are most afraid to enter? Well, what amazing, life-changing treasure might be waiting for you inside?